Giving all praises to the Most High Yah, the God of Israel. First and foremost, giving honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Giving double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has awoken in these last days to understand the prophecies that's being placed on the world stage. Giving double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. We're part of the group called the Hebrew Israelites. We coming in and week out to preach the destruction and the downfall of this wicked kingdom, which is America, and the destruction of the European common market system. That you so-called black folks need to return back to your Creator. That you need to understand why you was brought over here as slaves. See, most of our people today, we walk around today because we have what you would call Stockholm Syndrome. And we don't even understand our history, our saga. So it behooves us today to understand the events that's taking place on the world stage. And that if we don't return back to our power, what's going to take place is that we're going to be moved into a dispensation that has been going on for some time now. And this is a glorious time that we're living in. It's because now we're starting to see prophecy being fulfilled. See, 18 years ago, when I came into this way of life, I never questioned it, but we didn't see these things taking place on the world stage. And now we starting to see. We starting to see the bear, which is quote unquote Russia or Gog and Magog. We see Gog and Magog unleashing his teeth amongst the people. See? And a lot of people don't really know what's going on. But see, this is why it's our job today to go out and preach to the masses of so-called Negroes and to you Europeans that your day of rulership is over with, that you about to be destroyed, and the ones that's left over of you other nations, or what you call the Goyim, you're going to be under our tutelage for a period of time. And you're going to have to clean up what you messed up in the earth. See? It's because, look, you can't rob a man of the knowledge of self, tell him he ain't create nothing in human history, told him that he a savage that live in the jungle of a subhuman level, and think you're going to tiptoe into the future. See, you can't do that. And see, this is a glorious time that we living in, is because now we starting to see prophecy being fulfilled. And a lot of you folks that walk in, that's walking today, you're going to meet the same fate over there in the Ukraine. See, we got those people over there in the Ukraine, they don't have no running water. Their electricity was cut off. See? They're running from bombs and things of this nature. And this is what this country is about to embark on just as well, because the situation that's going over there in the Ukraine is just what? It's just a move on the chessboard. We call that wars and rumors of wars, right? So who is Russia? In the Bible, Russia is considered Gog and Magog, and today we call Russia the bear. It's estimated that Russia got over 70,000 nuclear weapons, and they're not just using the nuclear weapons just for play. They're gonna use those nuclear weapons. And see, we already see a glimpse of that situation taking place today. But the only difference that the bombs that they're using over there in the Ukraine is not poisonous. It's just bringing forth fire. But the bombs that's going to be shut off here in America and abroad, they're going to be poisonous. They're going to have pestilence in those weapons. And that's why it behooves the so-called Negro to understand who he is from a nationalistic standpoint of view. And that he got to know who his power is. See? It's because we can only trace our history all the way back to 1619. But who were we before 1619? Who was the so-called black man before 1619? What's his saga? Where did he come from? See, what gods was he worshiping before the rise of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism? See, what gods would he serve? And this is the so-called black man's job that the Creator has awoken in these last days. We have to preach the truth to our people, and that our people need to come out of sleep that they have been put in by what? The slave systems. The slave systems by the slave system, because the slave system robbed our people of the knowledge itself. And why is the slave system robbing our people of the knowledge itself? Is because why? We turned our backs on the Creator. See? We wanted to serve the gods of the other nations. This is why we on the street corners. This is why we don't have a country. This is why we can't trace our history back no farther than 1619. This is why people being shot down in the streets. It's because we don't even know what tribes we come from. We say we from Judah. We say we from Levi. We say we from Benjamin. But do we really know what tribe that we come from? It's because the Creator said, because you have rejected knowledge, I'm also going to reject you. See? And see, when he was talking about that, he was talking about what? Us today. This is why you ask the so-called black man what's his nationality. He gonna give you 20 different nationalities. It's because he don't know where he come from. He don't know who his people is. This is why we got a lot of gang culture in the neighborhood. It's because why? It's because we don't have no peoplehood. See, when you rob the culture, language, and you don't know where your land is, see, you don't have a sense of peoplehood, culture, then what? You gonna turn to savages amongst your own people. This is why they saying in the news, in the month of March or February, or in 2021, the so-called black man in Chicago done killed over 1,000 and something people. It's because he don't know who he is from a nationalistic standpoint of view. He don't know his history outside of 1619. All he knows is Black History Month. See? But this is a glorious time, ladies and gentlemen. It's because why? It's because we're seeing prophecy being fulfilled. It's because you have to look at the war over there in Ukraine with Russia. You got to look at Russia as what? The Terminator. They got one particular job. And their particular job is to do what? Is to gather themselves so they can come against America. The next war, or the third world's war, and look, the cat is out the bag now. The other nations know this. They trying to prolong the inevitable. The next world's war that's going to take place on the world stage, and all you people going to see it, is the war between America and Russia. And let me hit you with something. Russia is the one that's going to take America out of his globe. See? And a lot of you folks that's in a happy-go-lucky spirit, you're going to be ushered into that third world war. Because of what? Because of the media. Because you're going to be thinking that you're going to be doing something righteous for the country, but in actuality, you done signed your death warrant. See? It's because you created racism amongst the human family. You created white supremacy and black inferiority. So just like the other nations, Greece, the Medo-Persians, the Chaldeans, and all these Gentile nations, the way that they went out of power was bloody. The same thing that's going to happen to America. She going to go out bloody because she came in bloody. She saw the native indigenous people of this planet, right? Of melanated skin. She saw them living over here deliciously in this country. And what did she do? She mingled herself amongst those people and she destroyed them. She destroyed the buffalo. She raped, murdered, and robbed the indigenous people of this country. She saw that they was eating the buffalo, that they used the buffalo for everything. And she destroyed the buffalo, dealing with what? Guerrilla warfare. She saw that those people wasn't really warriors like that. She put smallpox in her blankets. She gave the so-called Native Americans, she gave them smallpox, germ warfare. She gave the so-called black man syphilis. And she recorded the stages of the syphilis and how it was going to do to our people. They created what you would call the eugenics program that was going to sterilize the so-called black man and the black woman from the ages of 9 up into adulthood. And as a result of that, what comes out of the Planned Parenthood is what? Out of the eugenics program is what? Planned Parenthood. So this is a glorious time that we're living in, is because, see, we're seeing something. We're going to see something. The world is going to see something that they have never seen before. Just like those people over there in quote-unquote Ukraine. They're standing outside. They're eating soup outside. They're running from bombs. They're living under bunkers. They're living on the plains. It's because they don't have bunkers to go into. This is the fate of America. This is what's going to happen to America. You're going to be standing out here in soup kitchens. People are going to be trying to give you aid, but there's no aid that's going to help you. Your hospitals is going to be bombed, see? Just like Russia is bombing the hospitals of Ukraine. You see those individuals out there, see, they living the life, see, they live there and they glow. They got all these fine, fancy suits on, see? But in these times, they're not going to be walking like that. They're going to be in grave fear. They're going to be in fear of their lives. It's because war brings out what it brings out. It brings out the devil in people. See? If you If you're not a if you're not a carnivore, you're gonna be a carnivore in that day. It's because war is gonna turn you into something. It's just like you go to prison. They say in prison, it's either you're gonna sink or swim. It's because if you're gonna swim, that means that what? You're gonna be able to adapt to prison. A lot of people can't adapt to prison. That's why you have rapes in prison. That's why you got beat downs in prison. It's because a lot of people can't adapt to it. But you got some people that have been raped in prison and been beat down, and then they turn into what? They turn into savages. They learn how to adapt to prison. And this is what this war is going to bring to the human family. See, it's going to take you from one stage to a next. The Joker said on Batman, he said that these people, see, they good people right now. The next door neighbor, they speak to each other and things of this nature. People going to the park, I'm just paraphrasing. They going to the park, they having PTA meetings, but if you take the money away from them and the food, it's gonna turn them into what? It's gonna turn them into group Bs. They're gonna do things that they have never done before in order to eat, see? Because it ain't gonna be about ends meet, it's gonna be about eating. Those people over there in the Ukraine, they're not eating 3 meals a day anymore. They be lucky if they only got 1 meal. This is how detrimental these wars is, but a lot of you are hypocrites, and a lot of you got pride on you. Is because you don't believe that this stuff is coming here. You don't believe that it's coming here. See, you're not in fear because you think that your God, America, is gonna save everything. Just like when the coronavirus came out, America said she's gonna stand up to coronavirus, but it's gonna be pestilence that's gonna come on the scene that's gonna be far worse than what we dealing with today. And a lot of you gonna die, you gonna suffer. It's because you don't even know who the creator is. You done took somebody else's history and you done mingled it with what? Paganism. This how prideful you are. We finna come up on Easter. Easter has nothing to do with the nation of Israel's history, but you done mingled it into our history. Talking about the Messiah was nailed to the cross. All of that is paganism. That's why you gonna pay. And I don't care who's listening. You're gonna pay for what you have. You're gonna reap what you have sown. This is the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, in the 1st verse. And it says, "And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him." So who is Gog? See? Who is Gog in the land of Magog? See? That's Russia. But she don't go by Gog anymore. She goes by Russia. Where's the Tubal River at? The Tubal River is over there in Russia. So Russia is in the scriptures. And who is the Son of Man today? See? Who is the true Son of Man? The Son of Man is Yah. See? But who is he going to be speaking through? He's going to be speaking through his elect. See, we the ones that the Creator is doing what? Grabbing up out of the muck and the mire, see? To preach his word amongst the people, both Gentile and Hebrew Israelite. To preach the destruction and the building of the Creator's kingdom in the earth. And say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with thee, bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And the swords that we talking about today is what? It's going to be nuclear bombs. That's the sword that we're talking about today. So during the period of time, the Creator set Russia down. But now Russia is in what? She's in a Cold War spirit now. She's in a Cold War spirit. And just like the Terminator, it's no reasoning with her. See? It's no reasoning with Russia. She don't care about silver and gold. She don't care about being a part of the European Union. See? She ready to go to war. And what you gonna do in these times? She don't care about being on Dancing with the Stars. Putin don't care about being the most greatest president in the world over there in Russia. They don't want to join the European Union. So the Creator's doing what? He's putting the spirit on Russia to come against what? These countries. That's why they won over there in Ukraine. It's because Russia had to go up in there, and she has to do what? She has to take control over those natural resources. The titanium, the manganese ores, the natural gas, the oil, see? All these wars are built upon what? They fought for natural resources. And America is upset is because why? It's because Russia came in and messed up the deal that they was about to put on the table with Ukraine. That's the bargaining tool that Ukraine was going to use to be able to join NATO. But Russia is not going to allow them to join NATO. She's not going to allow them to join NATO. That's why she's over there bloodying her nose. That's why the country is in disarray. And Ukraine is not just the only country that she's going to invade. She's going to invade a lot of these other countries that's over there that's trying to be allied to America. She's going to conquer those nations. That's like she over there in Syria. She over there in Afghanistan. She over there in Iraq. It says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, and all of them with shields and helmets. See, these nations, they finna go to war. We already at war. You know what it's called? It's called cyber wars. But now, they starting to do what? They starting to fight in the streets. That's why America said today that they can't go over there to the Ukraine and you know, help them fight is because they understand if America goes over there, it's gonna turn nuclear. But they're gonna fight anyway. See, they're gonna fight anyway. And all you cats running around here, see, you don't have no fear because you prideful. You think that your job is gonna always be here. You're gonna be running from nuclear bombs. And a lot of you gonna die of poison, see? You're gonna die of fire. You're gonna die of sedition amongst men. Them people over there in Ukraine, they whole country is upside down. The people over there, they vagabonds. Over 1.3 million Ukrainians left Ukraine to go to Poland and other countries, trying to flee from the carnage. But they're in disarray over there. And that's how you Americans gonna be. You're gonna be in disarray. Because the scientists done already said it. The nuclear scientists said that if Russia shoot a bomb over here, a nuclear missile, there's no way for them to be able to stop it. But see, a lot of you are arrogant though. You think that the government is gonna take care of you. Well, let me hit you with something. Your same government that you fighting for, that you are on the polls for, electing different officials, they're building underground bunkers. What you build? You worried about hot girl something, hot nigga something, see? White girl something, white man something. That's what you worried about, see? It ain't gonna be no women walking on the street during this time. See, you're gonna be in grave fear. And that's what's wrong with the people is that, see, you don't fear nothing. It's because you've been put in the spirit not to fear nothing. We just like these little kids around here, running around here robbing and shooting and killing people. See, it's because we don't have no fear of the consequences if you murder somebody until you get caught. But the fear that the country is going to come to is what? You're going to see nuclear bombs being shot off in this country. And a lot of you that got the mark of the beast, see, a lot of you gonna think that the Lord is gonna do what? He gonna come and you gonna disappear, see? And a lot of you gonna be deceived out here. You gonna think that spaceships is gonna come get you in this time. It's not gonna happen. It's because you done took on the philosophy and the teaching of the beast. The 13th chapter of the book of Revelation, the first verse, it says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns." And what does the 7 heads represent? What does the 7 heads represent? The first head of the 7 is what? That's the kingdom that was set up by who? Nimrod. What is the second one? The second one is the Egyptian Empire. The third is the Assyrian Empire. The fourth is the Chaldean Empire. The fifth is the Grecian Empire. And the seventh is the Roman Empire. But they say that the seventh is also the eighth, see? So the seven get knocked down, and then she rebuild itself through who? Through the 10 toes. And who is the 10 toes that's spoken of in Scripture? That's Germany. That's Britain. That's Luxembourg, Spain, Portugal. See, these are a part of the 10 toes. But originally, they wasn't even the 10 toes at first. They was what? The Franks, the Visigoths, the Suevians, the Vandals, because they came up out of the Roman Empire. And they metastasized into what we dealing with today. See? Luxembourg, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Italy. This is the European Common Market System. And who are the nations that's working for the European Common Market System? That's America, that's Canada, that's the state of Israel, and South Africa. See, these are all 5 European descended nations. And they're going to go to war. So the 7 heads that's standing on the 10 horns is representative of what? Kingdoms that was ruling before. It says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. So who is this beast that coming up out of the earth, having 10 heads and 7 horns? That's the Roman Empire. That's Rome. So a lot of you folks is under the Roman spirit. You still up under the Roman spirit. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear. And who is the leopard? That's Greece. Who is the bear? That's Medo-Persia. And it says in his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Who is that? That's the Chaldean Empire. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Who is the dragon? That's Satan. See? That's Leviathan. That ain't no creature in the ground. Leviathan is the adversary. Because we've been fighting against the adversary ever since the foreparents messed up. We rebelled against the Creator. That's why the Creator, that's why we don't know the Creator today. It's because, see, we have worshiped false gods, the whole human family. And as a result of that, the Creator's only dealing with his elect, which is the 144,000 of the nation of Israel. All Israel is not even going to be saved. Not on this side. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wounds was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Now how is Rome? So who head was wounded? That's the Roman Empire. When Rome was conquered by all these different nations. So how is Rome head is going to be restructured? By building what you would call the European Union that we're dealing with today. These 10-toe nations that's ruling the world, the 1%. How they gonna rebuild it? They building it up under what? Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism. And they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. See? So you got all these nations today, they still up under a Roman spirit. America is nothing but in the spirit of the Roman Empire. See? And it says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. So how did he blaspheme? Because he took the nation of Israel, put them in slavery, took their history, and mingled their history with what? With his culture, his philosophy, his customs and traditions. That's how they speak and blaspheming against the Creator. They put Easter in the Bible. They put the cross in the Bible. They put Sunday worship in the Bible. They transform our history from an Israelite history into what? A Gentile history. And the only people that's going to be able to pick up the book is the ones that the Creator has opened up their understanding on different levels. And it says, and he opened his mouth and blasphemed against the Creator, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. So how is he blaspheming? It's because he created something that is contrary to the Creator. He created the religion of what? Christianity. Rome created the religion of Islam and Judaism. See? That's how she's blaspheming against the Creator. And it says that he opened his mouth and blasphemed against the Creator, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war against the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. So who is the ruler of the planet today? It's the Roman Empire. They still ruling. And how they ruling? They're ruling behind the scenes through different forms of religion and through the Federal Reserve banking system and through the 10 toes, the European Common Market system. But we don't know that is because why? It's because we're still caught up in the system. Because the Creator hasn't opened our minds to understand what's going on. But a lot of people are starting to understand what's going on. Gentiles and Hebrew Israelites. And how did he make war against the saints? It's because why? Because during the 325 AD and 70 AD, the 1700s, the 1400s, they started to do what? Put us in slavery. To rob us of the knowledge itself. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. See? So all of us that's worshiping the beast, then what? We're not going to be in the book of life. And what is the tree of life? It's the spirit of Yah. See? That's the tree of life. If a man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So if you take another man into captivity, then captivity is where you gonna go. See? So you can't put a man in slavery, beat his back for almost 200 years in this country, and then you tiptoe into the future, and then you don't even redeem that man. You don't give him his country. You don't give him back his nationality. You take his nationality, and then you start to do what? You start to mix and mingle it and create a religion out of it. So if you take another man in captivity, captivity is where you going. And this is what the people don't understand, see? We about to embark on something that the people have never seen. You ain't never seen this country be invaded before. You never saw this country be invaded by nuclear weapons before. Or boots on the ground. But that's what's finna happen. It's because these nations are in what? A Cold War spirit. And it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Who is that? Because the two horns represents what? Politics and religion. That's what it represents. And who is the one that comes out speaking like a lamb but's a dragon? That's Constantine's. 325 AD under what? The Council of Nice. Because they take the history of the so-called black man and they mix and mingle it with paganism. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Saying what? That he's the anointed one. that he's the messenger of the Creator. See? And that's what these Euro Gentiles have done. See, they have mixed their meat, they have transformed themselves into the apostles or the teachers of the nation of Israel. For Satan himself is transformed into who? The angel of light. So up under the Council of Nice, what happened? It was a restructuring of Israel's history. And it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wounds was healed. So how you gonna worship the first beast? It's because you're gonna take on his philosophy. So you're gonna start worshiping what? Christmas, Easter, Sunday worship. But they're gonna do it in the guise of what? Christianity. See? You're gonna be dealing with Juma, Ramadan, under the guise of Islam. You're gonna be dealing with the Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, and all these other, and what other, the Medrash, all that type of stuff under the guise of what? Judaism. But all of it's under the influence of the Roman Empire. So I just came out here today to preach before the human family of the destruction of this kingdom, man. Because see, this country is gonna be destroyed. So with that being said, death to the European common market system and death to the Euro-Gentile world power system. Shalom.